Hi there, I'm Miriam, and welcome to Miriam's Manor. You guys can see again, we have another Platinum member interview. Today, I am going to be interviewing Monica, and I'm really excited to get into this interview with her because she has some special things to share and also a big thing that she was celebrated by her city for last year that we're going to get into for her Christmas village. So, you guys, please welcome Monica in the comment section. And Monica, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I am so excited. I think I'm going to go back to work and my cheeks going to be just sore from just being so happy.
That's awesome. So, Monica, tell me, let's go back to 2022, to last year's village, because you put together a massive village and it was so gorgeous. So tell me about your theme for your village last year, your inspiration, and also the location.
So, ever since you did your mountain, the the big one, um,
Mhm.
I have done my own version of a mountain every year, and last year and this year starts with that. So I really am trying to every year get better at making the mountain and waterfall and the scenery more realistic. So that was my biggest thing last year. And then I did a zoo last year, and that was a lot of fun because it was a lot of the kind of scenery stuff and the resin work and that kind of thing. So that would be the biggest motivation for that. The village that I have an old house, and there's this weird entryway that's not used for anything um, except for the village. And for Halloween, there's a big picture window that I put pumpkins and stuff in. But that's where the village goes, and it can't take up entire like the whole room because my son's bedroom kind of juts off of that room because this house was built in 1905 and there's been expansions, and I don't know, people just put rooms randomly when they expand old houses apparently. So I have to leave him like 2.5 feet um, to get in. I He's tall and skinny. I could probably get away with taking another foot off of like his access to his bedroom, but I thought I better not. But so that's where it goes. Right now, it's in the basement because that's where I do all of the building. And then um, once the Halloween stuff goes down, then we start bringing up the tables and everything and
Yeah.
setting it up.
Yeah. Now, last year you had sent me some pictures of your basement and you were in there and you have a German Shepherd, right? I think it was a German Shepherd on
Lab.
the picture. Oh, a lab. Oh, okay. I
Yes.
remember seeing a really big fluffy dog.
Yes.
And you had all of your building materials out. And is that when you begin your build every year down there, is the rest of the family allowed down in that space?
No, they're not. And sometimes there's not access. There's access for me to get to my chair that's in the spot that I'm working because there's totes and stuff all around. And I do leave a little trail. We have a big upright freezer that we keep a lot of like meat and stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, that is not accessible to anybody. And um, it's kind of nice because it's an unfinished basement, so it's not like we do use it for a whole lot other than storage.
So awesome to have a designated space that's not in your main living area, that's not visible, that is unfinished, so that you can just work, leave a mess, make a mess. Like it's not a big deal. It's like having a studio
Yes.
in your own house. I think that's just so awesome.
Yeah, it's good because I am not a clean crafter. I like when I am done, there is moss and paint glued to my fingers, and
Yep.
my clothes are destroyed, and it would not be good. And the ground is concrete, and so if you were to go down there now, there's remnants of plaster from the mountain. There's paint. I mean, there is just a lot of stuff on the floor.
Yeah.
So once everything gets moved up here to set up, I do go down there and kind of sweep up and try and
Yes.
fix
Yes.
it a little bit.
I am the exact same. You guys see me. I am
Yeah,
not clean. My hands are a mess. That's why I keep paint clothes and like
yeah.
specific craft clothes that I wear when I do work because I'm very messy. And even on top of that, I recently, well, about 3 or 4 months ago, I bought an apron to craft it now too.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So yeah, so this is what I literally do
Yeah,
on my apron, and that's how I get my ass clean while
yes.
moving.
That's what I do because there's not, there's no, you don't want to waste all the paper towels that it would take.
Right.
I was watching your interview with Baruch
Uh-huh.
yesterday at work, and I was just giggling when you were talking about him not liking getting his hands dirty and stuff. And I just thought, oh, that would have been fun to see him
It was
trying to
hilarious.
not get dirty, especially plastering. There's no way to not get dirty
Right?
when you plaster.
But do you know this man managed to stay clean everywhere else except his hand? The key is such a tidy worker like that. I was shocked because I'm looking at myself and then I'm
Yeah.
looking at him and I'm like, we are night and day different right now,
Yes.
literally. So last year, your local newspaper featured you in an article. So tell us about that.
Yes. So I live in a small town in North Dakota. It's about 2,500 people, and I had posted my video on my Facebook page, and a man that I know works at the newspaper. He's like semi-retired, and apparently he brought his phone in and was like, "You need to watch this." And I got a knock on my door, and it's some lady from the newspaper, and she wants to, come in and see the village. And of course, I was cleaning that day, so I had my hair like crazy. I'm like, this is the day. You couldn't come like when I had a doctor's appointment, so I was looking really pretty or anything. So she came in, and it was funny because we have the outlets are all connected to my husband's phone for
Mhm.
the inside and the outside because I do a lot of decorating outside too. But she was here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and so I was calling my husband at work because I can't reach the outlets under the tables, and I'm like, I need you to use your phone, like turn the houses on. And he was in the middle of a meeting, and but he did it for me. So I got to have all the lights on because it's not the same if the lights aren't on. And
Right.
she interviewed me, and a few weeks later, in our little local paper, I had an article, and I loved it. My kids, I think, they get frustrated when people encourage me because they know that just means there's going to be more work for them. So they weren't like as excited, but I was.
Yeah. Well, that's such a big deal that we put so much time and effort into our villages.
Yes.
And especially you have made so many beautiful pieces. And to have that be recognized so that it's not just for you and your family to enjoy,
Mhm.
but now everyone else in your community is able to enjoy it as well. Like that's special and that's a very big deal. And especially when you know all of the hard work that you put into um, creating and building and planning out your city and all of the things that go into um, a Christmas village that people who don't village look at it and go, "Oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous." But they don't really understand that grass. I've been working on this for 6 months, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
They just see the finished result and they can marvel at it, but they don't understand the work behind it. So it is nice that you
Yeah.
were recognized by your city, and
Yeah.
they did a big spread on you. I
Oh,
mean, it even
yes.
went into the next page. Do you have the newspaper
I do.
article there to share?
I do. It's um like I said, I was cleaning that day, so I wasn't happy 100% with my picture. But and when I got it, it was such a big picture. I was like, oh my gosh. But there's the article, and then yeah, it was a pretty big spread.
Yes, that's something to
So
hang on to and to
yes,
tell your
yes,
kids, hang on to this. Mama's famous.
I know, I know. My husband had went and got like 6 copies from the gas station, and so I gave one to both my parents because I felt like I was in grade school again, and I was bringing home like a project. I'm like, look, mom, I'm famous, and then I joke with the kids because I had gotten asked to help decorate our little downtown this holiday season, and then this kind of happened and everything. And I told my kids, like, next thing is like I'm going to be the mayor, guys. Like, it's pretty. I mean, I'm going to take this town over, and um,
And you're going to
a
make
lot
it
of
a Christmas town.
yes, it will be a Christmas town. It'll be the set for many a Hallmark movie.
Yes,
The
make it a
goal.
Christmas destination because it would be perfect. You guys get tons of snow, right?
We do.
See?
So,
Go ahead and get like your caroling group started.
mm,
Build up
got
your town square area. So, what are they having you do this year to
it.
help out the city?
I'm not sure. We haven't met yet.
Mm,
We probably should because it's it gets cold as well as snowy here, and it's not quite as fun to decorate outside when it's 10 degrees.
yeah.
Um, but I know that they have a budget because the lady in charge mentioned that, and she was when she was brought it up, she had said, "Is this oh well, we have a budget and stuff. Like, is that going to be okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, of course." So I don't know. I think we have kind of like a gazebo downtown,
Oh,
downtown, um, and really perfectly sized evergreen that I think I'm going to buy. Those. Well, I already have like probably 10 huge bulbs. So I don't think it's going to be a lot this year. I think probably for the lady's sake, I'm going to come in like not so hot with all of my ideas this year. Maybe just ease her into the craziness that is me when it comes to Christmas. And just, we'll just do a little bit this year, and then next year, well, what if we did this, or what if we did this?
or food for thought. Because sometimes people look at your finished result for like your vision in your mind and it seems overwhelming. But if you show her an image, if you can like sketch it out of what you want it to look like
Oh,
over time, and then say, so in year one, these are the things we're going to purchase. And then every year you've got an outline of this year we're purchasing large ornaments for the trees. Next year we'll focus on the garlands that are going to wrap the gazebo with lights. This year to fit in the budget, we could just buy the lights and not the garland and have it going up, and around. And then the following year we'll add garlands to it. And then you have this plan in place.
mhm.
So, because especially people who work in the city, if they have something they can work against and execute against, they're typically very pleased. So, if you can kind of outline it and break it down and say, by the end of year 5, this is what it should look like, and this is what we can achieve, and this is what fits in our budget to accomplish this year, and then proceed every year from there.
That's a really good idea.
Then you might be able to get all your crazy
Yes.
in the city for everybody else to enjoy.
Yes. That's a really good idea. I
Yeah.
should do that because she lives down the street. And like I said, I do I do a lot outside. I should send you a picture when I'm done this
I
year.
can't believe you haven't sent me a picture
I
yet.
know I do a lot. Lots of the blow molds. It's kind of crazy. So I'm sure that inspired her to ask me, but I do wonder if she is kind of thinking like, I wonder where Monica's gonna go with all of this. But that's a great idea. I should
Yeah.
kind of plan out the end vision and then the steps leading to that.
Yeah. And then, especially if anyone is kind of handy and does any type of woodworking, to build a large sleigh. Like if you guys use your Santa area, or excuse me, your gazebo for like a Santa at Christmas Eve or whatever during the holiday season, someone can build a sleigh to put out there with it, just as like a prop. It'll be a destination for families to come and take little family photos for free and
Yes.
like all the things. Listen, don't get me started
I
on
know, I know. Oh
I
man,
could go on forever and ever and ever.
those are such good ideas. I should.
So, what do you have planned for this year's village? Do you have, is it going to look a little bit different than last year? Then, did you build anything new this year?
Yes. New year, new mountain. And this is the best mountain I've made so far. And I actually struggled this year, which I felt like a little better. You were, I can't remember what video it was, but you were struggling to come up with an idea and you had a dream and it came to you in the dream. I was struggling too. And I went down there one day and I just stacked up kind of what I thought I wanted the shape of the mountain to be. And I just started adding styrofoam and tissue paper. And next thing I knew, there was a perfect spot for my log cabin that I had unintentionally made, and like a camper over here. And then it just started to form in my head. And I knew I wanted a really nice neighborhood this year. And so I knew I had a mountain and I knew I had a neighborhood. I wasn't sure, and I'm still 100% not sure what I want everything else to look like. But and I've tried a few different things. I think it was Robin who says he has like a printed outline of each of his houses and they're labeled, so he could do that. And I tried that, and I can't. I have to have the house. I have to have it there, and so it's a lot of opening boxes and putting houses and putting them back in the boxes and then doing whatever. But I'm really excited about the mountain. Last year, I did a new waterfall technique that I really, really liked.
That
so
was
I'm going to do that. Yes. So I'm pretty excited. And the neighborhood, too. That's the only building that I grabbed. I found this at an estate sale. And it's a little garage sale. And so I fell in love because I love garage sailing. And so that really inspired me to do a really put together neighborhood. And that's done. That's completely completed. But that has a driveway that goes up to it. I have never done sidewalks or driveways or anything. I'm pretty pleased with that. And the mountain is done. I just have the waterfall actual part to put on. And then I just got to start doing my businesses. So I'm a little nervous about that. I'm behind where I want to be, but
yeah, you'll get there. So because you're entering the contest this year, right?
I am. Last year I got second in artistry.
Yeah.
So first is the next place. So for everybody out there, up your game.
Monica's coming for you.
Yes. Right? Yes.
I'm going to pop a picture up on the screen right now of your second place win, because your waterfall, your mountain, everything that you made. Oh my gosh. I was like, and I know you even sent me the instructions. I saved your email, by the way. Um, Monica, you guys sent me the technique that she used to create her waterfall and then the to make it look like frothed water at the bottom. Um, I plan on trying it this year with what I am creating in my village this year. So hopefully mine turns out just as good as yours. I'm almost nervous that I think I might want to do just like make a little mock one and do a dry
Mm.
run before I
Yes.
do it in my
Yeah.
lake that I've completed already because I did my town square lake already.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, what if I mess it up?
Yes.
But I'm so excited about trying it because it's something new and I've never done it before. And yours turned out so good
Yeah.
that I just loved it. I went, oh my gosh, that looks so realistic. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to try it.
It's really nice, and I like the way just the water effects waterfall looks, especially on smaller little waterfalls. But if, for like bigger ones, the and I even grabbed it. Not it's just the pillow stuffing, pretty
Yeah.
much, that you add to the surface of your waterfall. And then you take some snowy stuff. I don't know what it's called, the woodland scenic snow, like that, and it makes it just look really, really cool. I think it's a good idea for you to practice somewhere else, because I didn't, because I'm crazy like that, and I just went right in last year
Mm-hmm.
and put it right on my thing that I was doing, and like halfway through, I'm like, maybe you should have practiced this, Monica, somewhere not on your display, but that's just how I do things. I remember the first build I made after watching you. I didn't have a hot knife or anything, and I used a spoon.
The spoon.
And you know, it's my greatest attribute, but also my greatest weakness, because I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this, and I don't necessarily always consider, oh, if you mess something up, or maybe that's not right. But hey, my spoons, I don't even know what I made, like a ski hill. I
You
did
made the
all of
ski
that.
mountain.
Yes,
Yes.
with spoons.
You
Yeah.
guys, Monica sent me. Oh man, I hear an echo. I'm echoing. Now it's gone, I think. Okay. Monica sent me her very first build 2 years ago, right? Because this year will be the third year.
It would be, or is it three? I think it's three.
Is it three?
I think
Oh,
it might be
why
three.
do I feel like that was just 2 years ago? Okay. Anyways, so the very first build that Monica sent me that she showed me she did was the ski mountain. And you had kind of replicated the one that I had made with those still gondolas that I had attached to the wires.
Mm.
And you had made poles and put fairy lights going
Yes.
down yours. And I was like, I was blown away, you guys. If you could have seen what she made from spoons, I was like, how did you even do this styrofoam with a spoon? But whatever you did, girlfriend, you worked it out.
Oh,
And it was awesome. And I was just so blown away that, some people are just really creative naturally. And it doesn't matter what you have. If you see something, you can get a vision for it and then know, I'm going to use this to just make it happen because you can see it in your mind what you want to create. And then you just work with what you have. And I'm always just so blown away at the resourcefulness that comes out of us
yeah.
when we have this need to create something. But every single project that I've seen you make from your very first one has been excellent. And they have been beautiful.
But I have the Hotwire Foam Factory products now, and it was the best birthday present I ever got.
Nice.
And it makes things much easier than a spoon. But you can do it with a spoon. If you guys don't have one, it's possible.
Yes. Work with what you have until you can graduate to other things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, even in the stair series that I did, if you guys haven't seen that, I used different types of blades and different types of knives that you can use if you don't have a hot knife to carve out stairs. I did one with a $10 scalpel that I ordered off of Amazon. And then I did one with a different type of blade, but essentially you could use like a sharp steak knife if you've got it. And there's definitely ways to be creative and use what you have to um, bring something to life. So do you do all of your construction in your basement first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
then what time of year do you bring it out into the rest of the house?
Usually, um, once the mountain is done, I'll start bringing the tables up, I think, because that goes into the back corner and
Yeah.
it's the hardest piece to reach. So right now I have it right up on the table close to me. But that needs to be done completely before it gets put into place. Otherwise, my poor back is going to kill me if I try to
Yeah.
work on it. So I'm hoping next week tables will come up. I'm like, the weather, and you're not going to think it's warm, but it's like a high of 52 or 53 today up here. And I have to get stuff done outside for Christmas decorating. And so that's a struggle that I usually have this time of year is um, where to prioritize my time because it's, I have to get stuff done outside before it gets too cold and the ground's frozen and you can't stake anything down or before it snows a lot. And
Yeah.
so I definitely a struggle that I have is trying to work on both because I have to do both. And my husband had actually said to me this year, maybe you should take a year off your village. I got a new job. I got like our life has changed for the better, but it's just been a lot of new stuff. And so he had suggested I take this year off of villaging. And I just looked at him and I said, I thought we were soulmates. And my soulmate would never tell me not to do a Christmas village. So now I'm rethinking like our entire 17 years of our relationship because how could you even say that to me, And he's like, Monica, okay, like I'm just saying, I'm just trying to take some stress off. And I like, well, you are more than welcome to help me do the outside stuff so that could take some stress off. But hunting season just started, and so of course
Mm,
somebody available to help mom.
yeah.
But um, so yeah, he says I get a little bit dramatic when it comes to Christmas. So.
We all have
We do. I
we
think it
all
could
have
be worse.
and as a hunter, I'm sure he can understand that because
Yeah.
I know hunters. You will get up at 3 o'clock in the morning
Yes.
to go get in your spot
Mm-hmm.
so you can be ready. Who wakes up that early to go sit in the cold?
Yeah.
Like that's a little fanatical to a non-hunter.
It
But
is.
to a hunter, they're like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll see you there. Let's do
Yeah.
it. You know?
And
So
it's expensive too. I didn't realize that. I didn't grow up with my dad didn't hunt or anything. So
I see your backdrop behind you. We have
yeah.
the same one.
Yes. Because I have to do everything that you do, Miriam. But I just got it. I don't think I got the right size. I think I need one bigger. But I'm
Okay.
really happy with it. It's really pretty. My youngest son actually really likes it. I think he's going to want me to put it up on his wall, like for the rest of the
Oh,
year. Um,
cute.
but it's really, really pretty.
Did
So
you do
I
the
thought
lights
I better.
behind it too?
I know I haven't. I'm actually just in front of a window, so I had put this on. I hung it. I clipped it to my curtains on the window.
Okay.
But I would like to do like some twinkly lights. It just adds thing to it, some
It
depth.
does. And you know, those lights that I had found, I bought them on Amazon and I want to say they were only like $20 or less than $20. They were like $15 to $20 somewhere in there. And I only needed the one. I didn't have to order multiples. And that one strand of lights covered the entire thing of what I needed. And looked, they had different flashes so that it actually looks like twinkling stars. There's like 8 different settings you can program them to. I think that the link is in the description box of last year's part 1 of me putting my 2 years ago part 1, not last year.
Yes, because you had it
the backdrop. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure I put it in the description box 2 years ago. I don't know if the prices changed, but they were relatively affordable.
Yeah.
To do that and add that look. But this year, you and me are going to be matching because I put my backdrop up.
Oh, it looks so nice with the backdrop, doesn't it? It just adds something to it.
It really does. It acts like a frame almost to like when your village is in front of it, and especially when you have a village that's kind of like escalating up into the backdrop, and you can still see slivers of it like in the sides of buildings. Like if you have buildings here and you can still see a sliver of the backdrop in there, like it just I just love that extra little oomph that it gives to like the overall finished look of the village. But it makes it a lot of fun.
My backdrop is only it's kind of in an L shaped because the long part of my village is in front of the picture window, and the table was built by my late father-in-law, and it comes right to where the bottom of the window is. And so I don't put a backdrop there because from the sidewalk you can see the trees and the lights from the houses from my village from outside the window. But when I do when I record I do my own like recording that's longer. But when I do it for your contest, I will move the backdrop around to where it's not always at, just to have it in.
So how long ago did you start your very first build for your village? Like how early in the year do you normally get started?
Last year I got started at the end of September, and that felt good. And I do a lot of decorating indoors for Halloween and a lot of decorating outdoors, and so that usually gets done like the 3rd week in September. It gets done very early because then I don't want anything. I don't want to do like anything to do with Halloween during the month of October. I want to focus on Christmas. Like Halloween is turned into a September thing for me because once October hits, I have to be working. This year, I had a wonderful opportunity to switch careers, and I was previously working in a group home with disabled adults for 13 years. I had done that, and I would work a 40-hour shift, so I'd do 2 overnights, and so I'd go in Sunday, I'd get done Tuesday, and that was my 40 hours, and I'd have the rest of the week off. And I did that for 13 years, and I was able to be home with my children, and it was wonderful, and I had all this extra time, and this opportunity came up that I keep telling everyone it's like a big girl job because I work Monday through Friday, but it's been an adjustment. Like, I work Monday through Friday. I don't have like all day Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday while the kids are at school to just work on my projects. So it's been wonderful, but it's been a struggle with my creativeness, but I didn't start the mountain at all till the 1st of November, 1st or 2nd. So I'm very, yes, nothing got done in October that was in my head to get done. So, but there's been a lot of opportunities to work on it at night, usually really late. Like I'll stay down there pretty late working on it. And then go to bed and get up and go to work and stuff. So I'll get it done. It's nice to have the deadline for me. It motivates me. It doesn't. I'm not so stressed out. I'm motivated to get it done.
Nice.
By then. So.
And by this time next year, you will be in your groove. You will have been
Yeah.
on your job for a year and you will know your schedule, the what the season brings. And
Mm-hmm.
you can also, knowing that you have the 5 days a week, be able to plan ahead. And again, that's so awesome that you have like your basement as your studio because
Yes.
you can get started in July if
Mm-hmm.
you want to and really truly take your time. And even if you
Yeah.
just devoted like, I'm going to work on it 1 day a month
Mm-hmm.
starting in July until we reach, that time frame, then that everything is like coming in at like crunch time towards the end and you can
Yes.
enjoy the process
Yeah.
a little bit more. I know for
Mm-hmm.
me anyway, I find if I am delayed in getting started on a project and I feel that time is coming up a little bit too short, now I'm not having as much fun
Yeah.
during the process because now I'm thinking just get it done.
Yeah.
And for me, okay, so in my brain when I'm working and I know I have a vision, an overall vision for what I want to do when I'm making a piece. However, I also will leave room for to allow creativity to flow within that space. So sometimes I'll do a lot of adding and embellishing more than I planned on it when I'm
Yes.
working with a timeline that will accommodate that. And I'll have time to like, you know what? I wasn't planning on putting a water feature in here, but I can have a little bitty rock with the waterfall coming out, splashing into this zone right here. Or I can carve this pathway when I was planning on just using like a moss mat to do
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm going to go ahead and carve this pathway into this. That way it'll be uniform with everything else. Like I'll leave room
Yes.
for those types of finishing touches.
Yeah.
But when I am working under a timeline that I've waited too long to get started, then that's when it's like, do what you drew, get it done.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
No.
And so then it does take a little bit of the fun away from it for
Yeah.
me in that
It
way
makes it work and not a
and
hobby.
not play.
Yes.
Yeah. So I try to give myself enough time. I have been working a little bit more diligently this week on my village. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot believe, what is it, November 14th. And I don't have one village video out yet
I
for this
know.
year. I am just like, Miriam, what are you doing?
But you've had some really good content. I like how you kind of set up your schedule because I feel like it must be a little bit easier on you too than I can't imagine the time that you put into doing all of this for all of us. But
It's a lot.
I feel like the schedule you have like created with the Friday releases and stuff has been just wonderful, and these interviews have been really fun too. Just to
Oh, I'm so
like get to meet people and see people and stuff like that. Because I feel like a lot of us, not a lot, but the ones you've interviewed, I've seen like throughout this journey that I've been with you. Like Robin,
yeah.
I remember Robin when I first started watching you, and that was
Yep.
a few years ago. Like, you know, he's one of the original
Yeah.
fans, or I don't know, followers, and I loved watching his because I just loved. I like last year when the contest came out, I knew that Polar Express was him. I just
You
knew it. I
did?
knew it. I'm like, that's Robin. I just knew, and he just thinks of some like he's like the doorstopper lamppost. That's a Robin thing to me. Like he thinks of things like that. I remember he had. I thought they were light up trees, and they were like icicle lights upside down to look like trees in one of his villages. And I'm like, oh, I would have never thought of that. Like he thinks of just crazy stuff. But when I saw that Polar Express, I knew it was him. I'm like,
Yep.
that's Robin. That's
You're right.
and so detailed and like I don't know, just
And he made every single piece
yes,
in that village. It was,
yeah,
he spent almost an entire year working on that village. The time that it took him to create all those pieces, first of all, because you have to design each
Yeah.
piece of software first, and then all the time it takes to do that, then to get it all printed, and then printing the same piece 3 or 4 times over a course of weeks
Yeah.
because something didn't print right in the
Yeah.
process, and then priming and painting and
Painting.
sanding and like all of the work. And I only know this because he has shared with me his journey and what he went through to create it, because I've never done it myself personally. I have a desire to, but like the technical side of that, like
Yes.
for the coding and all that, that's like way
Yes.
over my head. I need a
Me
whole
too.
class in education
Yes.
in the software before I can do it. Um, but just to understand what he had to go through to put that village together, and it took an entire year almost. I was like, my hat goes off to you. I
Yeah.
wish Robin would start a YouTube channel
Yes.
and maybe focus on that aspect of it to help those of us who maybe want to invest in a 3D printer
Mm-hmm.
and to um, make some of our own pieces for our villages, to show us and walk us through how to do that side of it. Silvio Elena also does a ton of 3D printing for his village. And oh my gosh, that man blows my mind. So I
Yeah.
interviewed him.
Yes.
That interview will be coming out before yours. I interviewed him, I think, like 3 weeks ago now. I'm almost done editing the video, but some of the stuff that he has made for his village this year, I'm like, oh, like you said, like, why can't we live in the same state? I'm like, Sylvia, why
Yeah.
can't we live in the same country at least?
Yes.
I would go see you wherever
Yes.
you were at if we were in the
Yeah.
same country. He just is a genius the way that he puts things together.
I know.
And
And European villages are like another level too. I feel
aren't
like
they?
they just like we're like American villages are coming into that, but some of those European villages, I'm like, what is happening here? How are these people?
The
He thinks
pieces.
like, yes, the pieces are just
Yes. I'm like,
gorgeous.
why can't we have anything that looks like that
No.
without having to pay an arm and a leg to get
Mm-hmm.
it shipped from a different country?
Yeah.
So there's so many beautiful aspects about the different type of art that goes into each person, like personalizing our Christmas villages to, number one, our budgets, what we're able to afford, and also our styles. And do you use a mixture of buildings, or do you have like a time period village?
When I first started, I only used the St. Nicholas Square villages because that was my husband and kids and that started probably 14, 15 years ago when I started getting village pieces, and it was a Christmas gift. Every year I'd get one or two houses, and it was always those. And then I started finding pieces of other brands at garage sales, like thrift stores. And then I started looking at their websites, which is like a horrible idea. And I started getting a lot of Limax. And now I've kind of gotten a few Department 56. That's definitely more expensive, especially some of like the older pieces are more expensive. But what I love about Limax is the base that the buildings are on. Now they're just nice and square, or they're painted gray, so it's similar to like your sidewalk. And so I struggle with my like St. Nicholas Square pieces now because they always have like a snowy surround, and I don't want that anymore in my village because I'm making it more mainstream. Like I'm actually putting roads and sidewalks. So it's hard to do that when the piece is made in that shape. The base of it is. So I have slowly stopped using St. Nicholas Square, and I'm using primarily Emacs with some Department 56.
And do you have figurines from different brands? And if so, do you mix and match all of those throughout your village?
I do. I have most of, I would say 80% of my figurines are Limax, because there's just the variety and the size, I prefer. There are two Department 56 figurines I have, and I have them in a way that they are not around other pieces because they're older ones. So like Department 56 old stuff, they like coated their buildings and their people with like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's shiny.
Yeah.
But they're basketball players, and so in my neighborhood, I have a little basketball court in the backyard where I have my little basketball players. So those are Department 56, and then there's a few like St. Nicholas Square, but not a whole lot. It's Limax, and that has been my primary purchase at eHobby Tools, over the last couple of years have been um, figurines.
Yes.
Yeah,
Same.
because they make a difference, and
Do.
I love having certain ones for certain scenes. But I love that about the village, creating like scenes specifically for certain figurines because it just makes it all come together, and it's really fun, I think. So that's, yeah. So Limax. I feel like you asked me a question and then I like it takes me like 10 minutes to answer it. So I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Listen, we're all long-winded.
I know. Oh,
My husband and I joke about this all the time because when we're doing the live streams together, um, I'm really long-winded. I'll take forever to answer a question because I'm trying to answer it from a bunch of different aspects. That way, if someone else was thinking something similar, like I can cover all the bases. That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking in my head. Okay.
Yes.
So my husband is like, why did it take you 5 minutes to answer that
Yeah.
one question?
Yeah.
Like you could have said yes or no. And I'm like, well, no, because there are these factors that we have to consider. And I wanted to make sure that we were thinking about all these different things. And he's so funny because he's like, he'll do this to me under the table. Well, so when I see his hand doing this, he's like telling me like,
Let's
speed it
go.
along, Miriam.
Yeah.
You're taking too long on that.
Oh,
But I don't know. I always feel like I need to either overshare or over explain because the times that I don't, when I've done videos where I'm like, you know what, I've done this so many times, I'm going to just start at this beginning of the process and build from there because I'm thinking the rest of it's self-explanatory at this point. It never fails. I'll get people go, hey, Miriam, I'm new to your channel.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you did at first. And I'm like, see, this is why I should just always start from the beginning. And for those of you who already know, you can fast forward to like the next part if there's something new or whatever that you want to see. But because it is, you always have to think about that person who's just getting started. And even for you and answering questions in the back of your mind, you have to think about that person who's not even built or bought a building yet. Because some people will watch videos, and I've gotten this feedback a lot over the last 4 years. People have found my channel and they just stumbled across me for some random reason.
Yeah.
And they're like, I love this. I want to do this someday. And they'll watch my videos and they haven't even purchased one village piece yet. And they're thinking, I'm going to make this before I buy something. And like, so they're thinking even of the building aspect first to build something and then go get a piece for whatever they just built. Yeah. And so you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. For me as a content creator is I'm speaking to the person who's just getting started, and everyone else who's been rocking with me for a while, you guys already know, and you can just skip over whatever you don't want to hear. But I still need to be informative. So,
Yes.
so I understand. Plus, we're ladies and we just talk a lot.
Yes, we do.
Men are always so like boop, 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 boop.
Yep.
Like, in line, answer questions easy, and
Yeah,
we need a
I know.
chit chat, right? That's why I always
We
have a cup of
do.
coffee and my water.
Yes,
Like we're sitting on the living room couch and you and I, and we're just gonna have a conversation because this is how I would see you if
absolutely.
you're in my home. Except I'd offer you a cup of coffee too.
Yes. Yes, we like to talk. I think we just women are more detail oriented too, and that kind of
Hmm.
adds to the long windedness of our conversation.
Well, and I feel like we use our words on each other because I know my husband don't want all these words.
No, no.
He's like, can you tell me in 2 minutes?
Yes.
And or honey, can you explain this during the commercial break?
Yeah. Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get all my words out with somebody else for the day, and that
Yep.
way I could just talk to him a little bit. So tell me, Monica, what is your absolute favorite part, hands down, about the entire Christmas Village process?
Hands down, it would be final touches. The final touches are my favorite parts because sometimes, you'll add something that you weren't even planning. It just, you didn't see it until all of your village was completed. That spot is perfect for this. Um, and so I think that's what I love the most. And getting all of the lights set up and turned on. I have a really funny video that my husband took because I had army crawled on my stomach to the back of the table that's in the corner to fix these lights, and I couldn't get out. Like, I don't know what was wrong. Like, the table is like low enough that it's because the table that I used, we based it off the table my father-in-law had made, which is only like 2.5 feet off the ground. It's very short because he made it to go under my picture window. So all of the tables that I've added are short like that. So even if I do a big mountain, it maybe doesn't seem quite as big because the table starts so low. So I couldn't like crawl out on my hands and knees, like, because my back would hit the table. And he's just, my husband, like laughing at me while I'm trying to like scoot out. Oh gosh, it was just a horrible, horrible video. But once that was done, I had everything turned on, and then the tree kind of light from our Christmas tree hits the village too a little bit, and it's just perfect. Like, it's magical almost to me when it's done, and it's like I made that, and every year I feel like I've done better, which is also really nice. It's a nice feeling. Like I tried something new, or I've done something better. I put more detail into it, and I'm seeing that this year. As shortened as my time to build things has been, I have done the best work I've ever done. And that's good, like, because it's motivated me, because I was so unmotivated at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Feel just full of the motivation now and the inspiration. And
you put together some amazing villages that every time when I see your name come across my email, I'm like, what is she gonna show me today? Like, you used to send me more progress pictures though.
I know.
I haven't got any progress pictures this year, and I'm like,
I know. It's been crazy, the time, and my kids are very athletic, and they are in all of the sports. And I think in my email about this interview, I had said I've missed like the last 4 live streams because I just, like, there's games, and up here in North Dakota, we're Class B, and so you play other small towns. Well, that's 2 hours away to get to a game, or and when we go, because I love being busy, but there's just no time. But I'll take a couple pictures tonight. I actually like to watch the contest videos. I'll put those on while I'm working, and I'll just
Yeah.
prop my phone up. And like, so then you're getting like the Christmassy music, but then I just like to watch because there's things that people have done too that are really good. Or maybe it's maybe it's not their whole village, but it'll hit like their town square, and I'm like, oh, that looks really good right
Yeah.
there. Like, that looks really good, and so I feel like what ends up happening is our villages end up to be like a combination of everybody's village.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hi. So we need to submit something for an assignment that we did in class.
Okay.
Can I?
Let me see it. And this was all they asked for in the description? You did a good job on that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, you can go ahead and submit it.
Okay.
I have to check all her work. I know. She's so sweet.
She's so sweet and gentle. Her voice is just this little gentle angel voice.
She's so gentle. Like her soul. She has such a gentle soul and peaceable. Very gentle and peaceable. And I'm just like, they're both just good. They're just blessings all the way around. Don't let me get started again on my kids because I could talk.
Right. No. I have two sons, and that is there's gentle. I don't know if they even know what that word means, honestly. They are not gentle. They're very sweet. They love their mama, but I've come home a couple times and there's something broken, and nobody knows how that fell off the wall. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure somebody knows how this fell off the wall. And they're big into lifting now, so that's been great. They come home and
you know what? Because it's like having three men in the house.
It is.
Yeah. I need all this stuff moved. I told my son he's got 2 more years.
Yeah.
And I'm so serious.
Yeah.
He's got 2 more years until he's moving all my bins for me. I'm not doing it anymore. They're heavy. It's so much work.
They are.
And I'm like, as soon as you're 13, this is going to be your job. You are going to be my muscle because
I think that's why my kids don't appreciate 100% the indoor and the outdoor decorating, because they are the carriers of things.
What is the most challenging part of the Christmas Village process for you, and how do you overcome it?
I would say it would be starting. Starting is the hardest part for me, because I know what's going to happen next. I know, excuse me, I know the hours that by starting this, that I'm going to be committing. And then, sometimes there's a little bit of overwhelmingness to that, just because I have a hard time planning. I just have to see it as I'm building it to create it. That's my process for creating things.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest advice to anybody who has those same hurdles would be to pick a scene and work on that. And so that's what I did. I did my mountain, which I was going to start first anyways, just because it takes the longest.
Yeah.
But once I could see that made it easier. And once I was waiting for things on that to dry or stuff like that, then I just did my neighborhood and just worked on that. And I haven't thought, that's why I don't have a plan for my business district, because I haven't thought about the business district, because I've just been thinking about what I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
And that's how I work, I guess, the best.
But I like that because it keeps you from getting overwhelmed, especially if you work in a larger space. If you're just focused on the one section of it, you're not thinking about all the other space that still has to be completed.
Yeah.
And it does allow you to just like kind of zone in and train your mind to just focus on that one thing. I like that. I really do like that. And especially because I have heard a few people have the same struggle is the getting started, getting the motivation to just start. And that's something so practical that people can do, is just taking that one scene and even pulling out just the pieces that you want to put in that one scene and begin to work with that. I like it.
Maybe this is a tip, I don't know. My people, I keep them separated by areas that I want them to go in. And so all of my shoppers with their shopping bags, they're in a separate bin than all of the people that would look good in a neighborhood or look good in a park. And so when I went to work on my neighborhood, I didn't even look at any of those other ones because they were separate. I knew exactly what figurines I could be using there because I'm not going to have my shoppers in my neighborhood. Although but I bought a shopper because I had a garage sale. So I need to have a shopper at my garage sale. But other than that, everybody else is just, normal neighborhood people. So I don't know how other people store their figurines, but I like to separate them by where they.
That's really great tip. So, what do you do with all your other mountains if you build a new one every year?
One of them I sold for like $40 because I wanted it out of my basement. I have the other one. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I guess it's just good that we have a big basement.
Last question. Let me ask you, for someone who is just thinking about getting started, or someone who is maybe like in their first or second year, what would be your greatest piece of advice to offer them?
Oh, I would say, don't be intimidated by people who create big things or big projects, because you might not feel like that's something you can create now, but you can in the future. And so I think that it could be intimidating to some people who do villages or enter the contest. And I know, like, in some of the comments, I've seen people like, oh my gosh, like some of these houses or some of these villages look great. And like, I just have like this little thing, like your little village is absolutely perfect. And don't be intimidated by what other people do, because you have all of that potential inside of you too. And just watch and learn and enjoy and start small and work your way up to it. You don't have to jump in like I did with spoons and whatever, but that's just who I am. You don't have to do that. You could jump in small, do a little, maybe make sidewalks this year.
Yeah.
Try that. And the next year, try building stairs or do a mountain, That would be my advice. Start small, work your way up to it, and I don't know, you'll create something beautiful.
That's awesome. Is there anything else that you want to leave with us, or any final thoughts, any words?
My 3 favorite things that I use in my village. So this is the snow I use.
Okay.
Fresh snow, Department 56.
Okay.
It's on Amazon. I don't remember how much it costs, but I feel like this is the most realistic. So if you're a new villager or a veteran villager and you want to try out a different snow, I highly recommend that. I'll send you the link for this too. These are my favorite flowers to use in my village. It comes in a pack, and they're like amazing. They're so realistic.
Yes, I use those.
And my favorite part is they're reusable. So like these are last year's, and they don't stay sticky. You still have to glue them, but I have quite a bit of flowers from that. And last thing that I use a lot, Mod Podge gloss. And in the pictures I sent you when I did the waterfall, I used this to create textures and ripples in water. And because it's gloss, it dries clear. A lot of times I'll take this and paint it on the rocks surrounding a water feature. And when it dries clear, so it looks like the rocks are wet. I have I want a fountain like your fountain that's real water, but the fountain I have is like the fiber optic fountain. And so I've taken this and I've painted the glue onto the inside so it looks wet and shiny.
Yes.
So
Great idea.
yes, I use that a lot. And I bought this probably, I don't know, 2 years ago, and it's like half full. So it lasts a really, really long time.
Yeah.
But that's it. Oh my God.
Those are really awesome tips. I like that. Thank you for joining me today. It has been like having you on my couch, like we're just chilling in the living room together. And
Yeah.
I like that. I like, even though like I'm calling them interviews, it's you and I having a chat. And when we can just have a conversation, then other people can just enter our world as we're having the conversation. And like they're part of the conversation too. And that's how I prefer it to be. Just very comfortable, very natural. It doesn't have to be like scripted or just see where the conversation goes and where it takes us.
And this has been such a great idea. And like for us members to get to know each other on a different level. And, you know, like I'm so excited to see what Julie's working on. And it means more to me to see what she's working on because I feel like I know her more. And I want to see the train that her husband wanted to get because he grew up with it. Like it's going to be more personal for me to watch her village or Robin's village or Diamir's village because I feel like I know them a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's totally their style.
So you guys, thank you all so much for watching this fun interview today with Monica. Thank you for coming and just joining our world today and allowing us to share our love for this hobby with you all. If you have any questions for Monica, leave them for her directly in the comment section and she can check those and respond back to you guys. If you have any questions for me, you guys know, just leave a message and I will get back with you. Don't forget to give us a big thumbs up for this video. It does help. Share the video if you feel like it'll be helpful to someone else. I will be continuing posting Mondays and Fridays, so keep your notification bell on. And until I see you again, stay safe. God bless you, and I will see you soon. Bye.